You might have already seen this, but we got a Guardian Mastery Pack spoiler card from Ed Knight himself Thursday night, and it is absolutely bonkers. I like if you've seen this card, you probably understand the impact that this is going to have on the Guardian class as a whole, but especially Victor. And if you don't, strap in because I'm about to blow your mind with how impactful this card is going to be and why it's going to be an automatic 3 of. This card is called Test of Iron Grip. It is a 4 block, like 4 defense value Guardian block Majestic that pitches for a red. When this defends, clash with the attacking hero. If there is a winner, the other hero discards a card. I would like to point out to you that if you block with this card at 4 value and you win the clash, which statistically you should do as a Guardian, you are going to make your opponent discard a card. This is a 1 card, 7-point piece of value, and it only goes up from there. If you get a Lava Burst when they were going to have Rupture online, it's a 1 card 9. This goes for Breaking Point. This goes for any other crazy chain ender. If you're able to use this as a Scowling Flesh Bag to be able to get rid of a pummel from an opponent, it's absolutely insane. There are so many cool things you can do. Plus the fact that this is a 4 block means that we're just able to block out whatever they're doing, and we get to take cards from their hand. This card is so insanely powerful. I honestly think this might be the best Clash card we've ever seen. Now, I know that Test of Strength and Trounce are really, really powerful, and they help us play offense, but the idea that Test of Iron Grip is helping us get rid of our opponent's offense is on another level. This card is absolutely cracked, and if you're thinking about whether you should play this card or not, please trust me, play 3 of this card. Before we go any further, huge shout out to Ed Knight for 1, getting such a cool spoiler card from LSS, but 2, Ed Knight also did a stream where he was showcasing the card on Tabletop Simulator. I've linked that video, like his stream, in the description below, so you can go watch some gameplay on it and see just how good this card is going to be. Now that we've talked about how broken the card is and what it's capable of doing, we're going to talk about where it fits and why it's so powerful in each of the heroes. First up, we're going to talk about Bravo and Betsy. I think this card is just an overall win for Bravo and Betsy right now. This card might actually put Bravo back on the map. Who knows? But either way, I think that this fits well into the deck. You can cut like Test of Strength from those decks, or you can cut like a Sink Below possibly, and just play this card instead. It probably has more value in certain matchups. There's even a world where we could play this card in Volda. Now, Volda is sometimes, depending on the build, plays a lot of non-attack actions, so maybe not inside of Volda. I'm not sure, but it could fit there. But really the best place that this card is going to fit, and I think like the #1 deck you'll see it in, especially out of the gate, is going to be Victor. Victor is a deck that loves to clash and loves to get value out of doing things like this. Well, now we're going to add another 4 block to the deck, and we're going to be able to take cards out of our opponent's hand. This card fits so well into Victor because we're already trying to clash a lot. And it also, like, really my first thought here when we talk about this card, and I'm going to apologize up front, this video is just going to be me rambling because I just saw this card very recently, but this, like, replaces Pummel in a lot of the matchups where Pummel can line up pretty well, or it can be kind of a dud that blocks 2 at certain times. I think this card works so well in this deck because if we're not playing Pummel into, like, you know, Katsu or Ira or Syndra, any of the decks that are just like these super low to the ground aggro decks, we're now able to replace it with a 4 block that takes cards from their hand, which allows us to utilize our other Clash cards, and it also allows us to like really get into a spot where we can utilize cards like Crush the Weak for more efficiency. We can also utilize something like a Spinal Crush and try to keep more cards in hand. But also, a lot of times when you draw a Trounce and a Test of Strength in the same hand, they feel kind of awkward because they're not doing very well together. But this card right here, you could have Test of Iron Grip and you can have a Trounce in the same hand, and it's going to be a-okay. It's going to work out perfectly fine, and it's not going to like really hurt you in any way, which is super nice because you can actually block with the Trounce up front on a smaller attack to be able to win, make a gold, and draw a card. And then you can block with Test of Iron Grip to block 4 and take a card out of their hand. This is insanely broken. This card is an immediate fit into Victor, but the one question we have to really ask ourselves is how many misses is too many? Like, where is that line at? What are we looking at? The fact that we have to be asking ourselves about our misses really makes me think that we can just take this card and kind of slot it in for pummel. So that's where I'm living at, and that's what I'm thinking right now. Also, this kind of works out because I've been debating cutting the gravy tech from my deck anyway to just try to make other matchups better because the gravy matchup has felt pretty rough. And I think this is the answer to what I've been looking for in the sideboard. So I'm probably just going to cut all 3 Batter to a Pulp from my deck, and I'm just going to slide in 3 Test of Iron Grip in the sideboard. The only reason you won't see this updated on February right away is because this card isn't available as I'm recording this. As they add the card to February, I'll be updating my deck and going through and working on some matchups here and there and things like that. But this card is an immediate auto fit to really help those other aggro matchups that, even though we're slightly favored into them, this also just shores up a lot of things. The other thing this card is absolutely insane about is against Slippy or against Mario, you're able to block on like something that like a 3-power attack that they may want to play a reaction with. And if they have 1 or 2 cards in hand, you're then forcing them to make a decision on what they want to discard. So you could get a Justinic out of their hand. You could get a Tarantula Toxin. You could get any number of reactions out of their hand, or you could make them discard a Codex if they're going to go again into Codex from hand. There are so many powerful options that this card opens up. I honestly don't think I'm being dramatic when I say that this might be the best Clash card we have in Victor at all. So by cutting the pummels and playing this card into the matchup, that means that all of our misses are going to be Trounce, Test of Strength, Test of Iron Grip, then we're going to be looking at Visit Goldmane Estate, and then what we're actually going to do is in these matchups, I think I'm going to come off of 33 blues. I'm going to cut Rouse the Ancients so that I can play more red cards and I can utilize this block card to clash better, cutting a miss. And then we're going to go down to 13 misses when you count Riches of Tropal Donny. So we're going to go down so that we have more hits in the deck. We're going to play this more aggressive version of the deck, but we're still going to keep Rouse the Ancients in the sideboard because we need it for matchups like Gravy Bones and Verdance where we need to be applying a ton of pressure. So this card fits in really well and actually makes sideboarding super easy and allows us to get so much more aggressive into these matchups where we really need to be applying pressure. We've talked about a lot of the implications that this has for Victor, but we kind of like touched a little bit about Bravo, but I want to spend just a minute talking about why I feel this fits so well into Bravo. You have so many good plays that you can make in Bravo that you're never really able to make in a lot of situations like dominating a Crippling Crush or a Spinal Crush or a Starstruck because you're not able to keep enough cards in your hand to really make it happen. Well, now you're looking at a 4-block that strips a card from their hand. This is going to give you the breathing room to be able to dominate those big attacks. So when I said earlier in the video that I think Bravo might be back on the menu, I very, very genuinely meant it. I think this card can put Bravo in a decent place. Now, I do think it just slots better into Victor with the idea of the clash mechanic and what Victor's already trying to do with being able to reclash. But if you're a Bravo stan and you want to make it work, you can probably just jam 3 of this into your sideboard for when you're playing aggro decks over something like a defense reaction, I imagine, and then you're really just going to be able to let it ride from there, opening up more space for you to be able to play Crippling Crush, Starstruck, Spinal Crush, all these big, beefy attacks that really make your opponent block or decide they don't want to block and then kind of take the turn off. So I do think this card has multiple hero utilization. And I know I said this early in the video, but if you are sleeping in this card, please do not. This card is going to be a Guardian All-Star. This card is absolutely insane. Guys, keep in mind, this is also only the 4th or 5th spoiler card we've seen from the Mastery Pack Guardian set. Be sure that you're keeping an eye out for more spoilers to come. There's got to be at least a handful more coming before we get this coming up in August next month. I'm super excited. This set looks like a lot of fun. If you feel like I missed a utilization or a place that Test of Iron Grip could be really good, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about it. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys.